How do you lead somebody else's kids? Whether you like it or not, especially as a stepdad, you're gonna get reminded, whether it's intentional or not, that those kids aren't yours. And then you have to pay bills and take care of somebody else's kids while the baby daddy is getting to roam free of responsibility.
Them kids don't even give a fuck about you. They don't even like you. They don't even look like you.
Because when you hear, you ain't my daddy, he ain't lying. That's my child. She ain't lying.
What's good? I'm Don the Con Man. Welcome to the channel. We break down the drama, react to the mess, and call out the culture. If you vibe with that, tap like. Want to stay plugged in? Hit subscribe and smash the bell. No face, no fluff, just real talk. Today's topic? Yeah, this one's gonna piss some people off, but I'm not here to babysit your feelings. I'm here to say the things most men are too scared to admit. We put stepdads on a pedestal like they're saints, like walking into another man's family is some heroic act, but let's be real. For a lot of men, it's not a blessing, it's a setup. Before we get into it, let me be clear. I'm not here to disrespect any man who chose to be a stepfather and found peace, purpose, and pride in that role. If that's you, salute. This isn't about your story, it's about the men who stepped in and got nothing back. The ones who loved deeply, gave fully, and still ended up discarded, disrespected, or broken. So, if you're a stepdad and this doesn't apply to you, then it's not about you. But if you're a man thinking about walking into that role, sit down, take notes, and hear the other side, because not every fairy tale has a happy ending. Let's just start with the obvious. Being a stepdad comes with zero guarantees. You have no legal rights to those kids, no custody, no fallback plan. You're walking a tightrope with no safety net. If things end with the mom, you don't just lose the relationship, you lose the family you helped hold together, and all those memories, they're not yours to keep. She's grieving a breakup. You're grieving a breakup and a bond that wasn't even protected in the first place. The second thing, and arguably the most aggravating, is that you're expected to give provision and protection, but not correction.
But the issue is, when it comes to being a step parent, is the other parent, the actual biological parent of the child, is always going to be in your life. And their kid is always going to be a flashpoint between you and them, right? And what am I meaning by this? Well, the thing is, say that little Timmy Jimmy or whatever his name is, decides to take a screwdriver and scribble all over your car, right? Just a big old nasty mess. Well, if you go out there and say, hey, Timmy Jimmy, why did you do this? I'm going to have to put you in timeout. Timmy Jimmy is going to go to his mom. He's going to cry. And then his mom's going to have to tell his dad why he's crying. And before long, you're the bad guy, because if you didn't want Timmy Jimmy to scratch the crap out of your car, you shouldn't have parked it there. And furthermore, how dare you yell at Timmy Jimmy because you're not his dad? Now, how does this continue? Well, the thing is, when the child is successful, when the child is doing things where the parent's supposed to be there and you're supposed to pump out money, you, the step parent, you're going to do it, okay? The biological parent may help, but if he sees you doing it, he's going to do it. And every time the kid does not act satisfactory and you try to discipline and correct and guide that kid, oh, well, you're a jerk, you're horrible, you're not my dad. Or in some cases, you're not my mom. And I tell you guys, there may be this slim few who step in and say, hey, we don't talk to our step parent that way. The vast majority is going to favor their own child. That's only nature, and you can't get angry at the person for doing that. So that's my advice to you guys too. If you can avoid being a step parent, do it.
I'm not gonna let you do nothing different than how she's been parenting that child. So if he gets to slam doors, if he gets to make a mess, if he gets to talk crazy and get kicked out of school, you're not supposed to say nothing. That ain't your kid. Because when you hear, you ain't my daddy, he ain't lying. That's my child. She ain't lying. Because really what this woman's asking for, dude, she's asking for you to do more than any other man in her life. Than any other man up to that point. She's asking more of you, and she's giving you nothing. The only thing what she's giving you, check it. She's giving you basically the same thing she's given her friend with benefits. The friends with benefits wasn't having to pay no bills. The friends with benefits was not having to be a father figure. The friends with benefits was not having to be a protector and provider. But he got access to the same thing you getting access to. And she wants you to be a father figure and not discipline the kid.
Should a man be able to discipline his stepchild?
I'm your daddy.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
You
all
got
right.
my stepchild. I can relate.
Yeah, okay,
That's mine.
yeah.
I've been there. I raised you.
Yeah.
I taught you how everything.
You was my own, like, own.
Are my own.
What y'all say?
Is this child calling you daddy?
Not calling you daddy, but you close to daddy. Like, they wake up to you every morning, you feel me?
Nah. Think about it like this: if it's your child with the step, just tell me. If they can't call you dad, if that ain't your mom, that ain't your.
Yeah, no daddy. That's sensitive.
Okay. I
Nah, it is. But I also
I feel that.
have step parents.
Yeah.
I also like, that's what I'm saying, not just from my perspective. And it's not like, oh, don't touch me. It's a respect, because it's a different relationship. You got to be kind of more delicate with it.
So what if the primary parent ain't always there? Or maybe they stay in a whole nother state, whole nother city. Stepchild wilding, skipping class, you feel me? They could be heading down to that wrong path if you don't tighten them up.
Yeah.
Parenting is real, my boy.
The village is important.
It's
Yeah, I was just
important.
going to say, it ain't even a step. It could be your nephew.
Yeah, that too.
Gotta make sure they on line.
I don't have to rough my nephew up.
You feel me? You got to. Like, hey, bro, this ain't that. You feel me? We don't glorify dummies around here. No knuckleheads around here, man. You got to head on the swivel type.
Discipline don't always mean putting your hands on
Yeah,
them.
facts.
The communication part is the deepest discipline you can give a child. Instead of them feeling like, man, this nigga don't like me or something.
These kids live under your roof. Eat your food, use your electricity. You show up, put in work, sacrifice time and money. But when it comes to discipline, you're expected to shut up and smile. You're not their real dad. So let me get this straight. You can protect them, feed them, clothe them. But if they're out of pocket, you're supposed to play silent step and fetch it. Just shut up and provide. That's not fatherhood. That's indentured servitude with a smile. That's slavery. And the moment you speak up, suddenly you're the bad guy. You're controlling. You're too harsh. You're aggressive. You go from being the backbone of the house to being the villain in a story you didn't even write.
And you ain't think the better idea would be to come and get me out my sleep?
You were asleep. He was cutting up.
Okay.
I have to show him discipline. What you mean?
No, discipline.
Yes, discipline. You finna argue with me for discipline?
No, I wasn't finna argue, but if you want to go there, we can go there.
What you mean?
You cannot.
I'm a fucking man in this house. What are you talking
And
about?
he got a motherfucking daddy and a mama.
Are you with his daddy?
He got a daddy and a motherfucking. No,
I'm about to go. You really got mad because I disciplined our child?
yes, no, you
I'm
got
just
mad
saying,
because
step up. You stupid.
I confronted you about this shit.
All right. This you ain't gotta confront me no more. If that's how you feel, you show me how you feel. It's all good when I'm buying candy, taking them out, taking to doctor's appointments and shit. But I can't discipline them. All right.
No, the you can't.
Unpopular opinion, but if you're a step parent, you have no right to discipline your stepchildren. Not only you have no right, but it's also not your responsibility to take on the role of disciplinarian. Because when you got involved with someone with children, your role should be limited to a supporting role. You know, just like in the movies, you have the actor and then you have the supporting actor. Don't take on the responsibility to discipline children that are not biologically yours. For this, they have their own father and mother. And in a supporting role, you are there to support your partner on any disciplinary action towards the children. Because let's not forget, you just got here in their lives. They have had their parents all their lives. So what is your role, you ask? Your role is to be supportive, emotionally supportive, financially supportive. And if your partner is disciplining your children, you need to stop that before the sun goes down today.
Now, some people will say that disciplining a child you didn't biologically create is an overstep. But here's the thing, teachers used to discipline kids. Bosses still discipline employees. Law enforcement disciplines citizens. If we're going to function as a society, then adults who care about a child have to correct them when necessary. So what happens when the kid crosses a serious line and their bio parent isn't around? Nothing? They just get a free pass because you can't say anything? That's not parenting, that's enabling. You're teaching that child to escape accountability from everyone except their biological parents. And if those parents don't care or won't discipline them, You've now got a ticking time bomb in your household. Let's be real. The goal of any adult raising or helping to raise a child should be to build a responsible, well-adjusted, purposeful adult from the ground up. But if that child is raised thinking only their mom or dad can check them, they're in for a culture shock the moment they get into the real world. But hey, I'm not a parent, so maybe I'm crossing a line here telling people how to raise their kids. That said, since my biological parents are the only ones allowed to correct me, I will be accepting zero accountability for this overstep and absolutely no correction in the comment section. Sound logic, right? Let's talk about boundaries or the lack of them. If the biological dad is still in the picture, he will have a say in how the kid is raised. And that means mom and dad need to have a co-parenting relationship, which requires open communication. Translation, your girl is texting, calling, and coordinating with her ex often. Are you comfortable with that? And what happens when he tries to dictate terms under your roof?
Stepdads are men that women wouldn't date if they didn't have kids. Let me read that again. Stepdads are men that women wouldn't date
if the women didn't have
if
kids.
they didn't have kids.
Facts.
It's crazy.
Facts.
Crazy.
Yeah, facts.
It's horrible.
That's techie.
Yeah.
That's facts, though.
I need y'all to help me settle this debate between me and my homie. He's saying that stepdads are basically dudes that women would not date if they didn't already have kids. Now, I'm saying stepdads are the dudes women wish they would have dated first. You feel me? His whole logic is, as a stepdad, you always the second option. You feel me? And the woman is now settling for this dude, which she think would be a good stepdad. So I was basically saying stepdads are basically like the guy that the woman wish she had met first. You feel me? Because peep game. After it doesn't work out with the baby daddy, bro, a woman's standards are like 1,000,000 times higher. You feel me? She's not letting nothing slide. And then when it comes to introducing men to her kids, you got to be at the top of your game.
And I think this is one of the things that a lot of women don't understand about men who step in to be stepfathers. This is why a lot of them don't want to stay around, because they already know that if they step in here, there's a high chance that what you gave so freely to somebody else, he's going to have to jump through hoops to get it.
Let's be honest, women aren't stupid. They know most men don't want to date single mothers. Some won't even consider it. So ask yourself, are you the man she wanted or the man who was willing? Are you just the boring, responsible, cleanup crew after the exciting bad boy dipped out? If she had better options, would she even be with you? Because understand this, she already gave her ex-husband or baby daddy the greatest gift a woman can give a man. She brought his progeny to life. She continued his legacy. If you don't have kids of your own with her yet, she hasn't given that to you. If she still can or wants to give it to you at all, she will always be tied to the man she had kids with. Always. If you're a stepdad and you break up without having your own children with her, you're just a footnote in her family tree. The baby daddy's place? Solidified. And ask yourself, what did that baby daddy do to earn that gift? The ex-husband at least stood before his family and his God to pledge his love and commitment before she gave him children. But the baby daddy, was he even a responsible adult? Did he even have a job? Was he staying with his mama and paying no rent? Could he even afford to feed himself? Yet he still got what most men spend years working toward, a family, a child, a legacy. And you're out here paying full price husband costs for the same access that the baby daddy got on a Netflix and chill budget?
Me and you will probably never see each other again because we ain't gonna be enough family outings because you're not gonna be around my kid. I don't give a what you do with Brittany. I don't give a what you do with her family. You're just not gonna be around Woo.
I don't really like the tone of your voice.
Don't like it then. But what I'm saying is, you can do whatever you don't bring up Woo. You ain't seen Woo, you ain't gonna see him, it's over.
Cut it off. You said what you gonna say, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say.
All right, we laying law then.
That's your kid, that's Brittany's kid.
Yeah.
Brittany my girl now.
Okay.
So whatever kid hers is mine now.
All right.
So regardless whether you like it or not, your rule number one is void. Because I'm gonna do whatever I want. And on top of that, he gonna be in my YouTube videos now too. So you got no choice.
All right.
And if you want to do something about it, we can box about it in the street or we can get in the ring. That's up to you. Not for this little YouTube whatever, me and you.
All right. I mean, listen, bro, it's one thing I ain't never, I ain't married. What you look at me? What you looking over there for? I don't respect you now, bro. Because all I ask, you can do whatever with Brittany.
Look at me. Okay. Say what you gonna say.
All this you do, man, no. I'm sure. I'm just saying, don't be around my son.
You got no choice. That's what I'm telling you.
Do you got kids?
No, he my kid.
All right.
He with me now.
Men provide and protect, and a core part of that protection is defense. A man will fight for his kids, he'll defend what's his, and that's exactly where the conflict between the biological dad and the stepdad begins. To the bio-dad, those are his children, his bloodline, his legacy. Yuck, he's not about to let another man walk into his kid's home and start rewriting that story. But to the stepdad, especially the one who's there every day, 24/7, putting in the time and effort, those kids feel like his legacy. He's the one making breakfast, helping with homework, protecting the house, paying the bills. Meanwhile, the so-called sperm donor might only be around every other weekend, tossing out a few texts in between. So who's in the right, the man with the blood or the man with the presence? Now, in a perfect world, everyone would have a strong, healthy co-parenting relationship and none of this would be an issue. But let's be honest, baby mama drama and baby daddy drama have single-handedly ruined a lot of good relationships. And even if you're not trying to step on anyone's toes, even if you go out of your way to keep the peace, ask yourself this: how do you really feel about another man trying to dictate how things are run in your home? Because whether it's verbal or silent, spoken or unspoken, there will be tension, and that tension builds until it breaks. And when it does, the cracks don't just form in the co-parenting dynamic. They start tearing through your relationship, your home, your peace. So before you take on that risk, you need to ask yourself, what are you really stepping into? Let's keep going.
Stepchildren can ruin a marriage and a relationship like that. Having stepkids is not for the weak. And depending on the ages, it can be extremely freaking hard. But a lot of these stepkids can come in like a bat out of hell. And I mean completely demolish what you guys got going on. Some of it's intentional, sometimes it's not. You could either really have an overstimulated child that hates going back between their parents and they are acting out as like this mean, upset, very emotional, talking back, you know, just from the change in a new person in their lives. Okay, so that's unintentional. But then you also have some children that are raised, and you can tell are raised in completely two different households. They might have one parent that corrects them in how they speak, and the next parent probably just doesn't care. Okay, and a stepchild can come in and be absolutely disrespectful. You're not my mom. You're not my dad. I ain't listening to you. And I mean be an absolute horror. Okay? And that can damper. And then that step parent that's taking care of this stepchild could be at their wit's end being like, hello, because they might not be with somebody or that type of parent that's going to correct their child. Okay? So that can really damper a relationship. If y'all two ain't on the same page, your stepkids are going to destroy you. Your kids in general are going to destroy you, not just stepkids. If y'all two ain't on the same page, good luck.
Now, I'm going to tell you, y'all got to put forth a strong front when it comes to these children. When y'all have these joined relationships and joined families, y'all have to put up a strong front, because these children will tear your relationship up. And then guess what? They be going off to college. They be going off with their life. And here you sitting looking crazy because you done sit there and broke your relationship up, or well, allow them to break your relationship up with your mate. And you were doing fine. And you were doing great. But because they couldn't have their way, they couldn't have their parent right there in the house. And then that's another thing. They want to make you feel guilty. And a lot of you parents are operating on guilt because your child's other parent is not in the same household with them. That is a huge thing that a lot of you are walking around with. And that's why a lot of you are taking up for your children. A lot of you are not standing up with your mate against your children because you already feel guilty because they're not in the same household with both parents. So you feel like you owe them something, you feel like you've taken something away from them. At the end of the day, the child needs to understand. The child needs to know that that's exactly what they are, a child. And you're going to stay in your place, and I'm not going to let anybody do anything to you. I'm not going to let anybody harm you, but this is my mate. And we're going to hold a strong front to let you know that you can't come between us. That's what y'all have to do. Other than that, and otherwise, you will be letting your stepchild tear up your relationship and break up your love and your life and your family. Have an amazing day.
On paper, emotionally, physically, whatever, you've been in your partner's children's lives for 5, 10, even 15 years, and you still have not managed to be able to form a relationship with them based on boundaries and respect. What do you do? What do you do if this is your situation? Girl, you keep living and you keep going. There is absolutely nothing that you can do at this point, especially if they are adults or the alienation has happened for over 10 years. There's nothing that you're going to magically be able to say to make these kids be like, wait a minute. This person has been ostracized and isolated from me, and I've been told that they're a bad person, even though I have all of this unequivocal evidence that they are a really good person and they love my parent and they treat me well. Yes, I've heard awful things that my mother tells me about them. Yes, my mom has told me that this person doesn't like me, that my stepmom doesn't like me, but they don't have any formidable proof because it's not true and you've never mistreated them, but it's something that they've just heard and it's been deeply implanted in their minds over the years. Because they're watching you, girl. They are watching you out the corner of their eye because they don't want their mother to be a liar. She said that you are an evil, bad person. She said you are a nasty woman. You are a homewrecker. You're an awful stepmother and you hate them. So they are looking to you to make that true because they don't want mom to be a liar. So they're watching every move you make. So you need to be on your P's and Q's and you need to make sure that your outward kind gestures, you're demonstrating those, not in a way that you have to prove something to children, but that you're just being a beautiful, wonderful human being.
I'm not a parent, I'm not a step parent, but I've listened, and what I've heard from men in those shoes, it's hell. If you and your woman aren't 100% locked in on parenting, that relationship is already on borrowed time, because kids, especially teens, are emotional landmines. And now you're the outsider who showed up uninvited to their broken family reunion. Welcome to the war zone. You're not the man of the house. You're the emotional punching bag. And these kids, some of them will actively try to ruin your relationship just to punish you for not being their real dad. That's not rare, that's standard. And unless their mom shuts it down immediately, you're screwed. Step in, you're the villain. Stay quiet, you're weak. There is no win. And let's be real, if you don't have kids of your own, you will never feel like you belong. These kids have history, memories, traditions, inside jokes. You're not part of any of it. You're the replacement character in a show that's already 5 seasons deep. They don't want you. They tolerate you. Some don't even bother hiding the fact they resent you for existing. And God help you if their actual dad is still around. You'll be reminded every day that you're the backup, the stand-in, the guy she settled for. Sure, you love her, but ask yourself this. Do you actually like living in that house? Do you feel respected? Or do you feel like a third wheel in your own relationship? Now here's the part no man wants to admit out loud. What if you don't even like kids? What if you're not cut out to be a dad, let alone a substitute dad with zero authority? There are over 160,000 people in a subreddit who regret having kids. Their own kids, not because they hate them, but because parenting nuked their peace, their identity, their freedom. Now imagine signing up for all that for children who aren't even yours. You can't talk about it. You can't vent. You can't complain. You just have to swallow it, smile at the chaos and pretend you're happy. And maybe there's a little voice in your head whispering, they're not your kids. Walk away. You ignore it. You push through. You tell yourself love is enough, but deep down you know you're in a prison you can't speak about. And no one's coming to break you out. No one can even know you're there. And let's say the relationship ends. Now what? You have no legal rights to those kids, no visitation, no custody, no say. All that time you put in, gone. All of that emotional investment, void. All of the financial support, forgotten. All of the bonding and memories you helped build, erased. At least a baby daddy has biology. At least a divorced dad has rights. He can look at that child and see his own blood, his own features. That's his progeny. That's his legacy no matter what happens. You just see a family moving on without you. And when she finds a new man, because she will, what if that new guy doesn't want you around those kids? He's not going to see you as their second dad. He's going to see you as another random ex. And just like you had to respect the rights of the biological father, that new man doesn't owe you anything. You're not the dad. You might not even be the ex-husband. You're not even a friend of the family anymore. You're just as disposable as the wrapping paper from the next Christmas they'll have without you. I can already see the comments. Don, who hurt you? This video is so negative, so emotional. It's giving effeminate energy, a little sassy, a little zesty even. And you know what? You're right. It is emotional, because I honestly believe that investing your love, time, discipline, finances, and resources into another living free man's progeny is not a logical decision. It's an emotional one. So I'm responding in kind. Disagree? The comment section is wide open. Before you jump in, take a step back. Forget love, forget lust, forget being there for her. Ask yourself this: are you walking into this situation because it's what you truly want, or because you're trying to prove you're a good man? Are you doing it out of love or guilt, hope or fear? Because once you're in, stepping out isn't easy. You'll be judged for leaving. You'll be guilted for pulling back, but you will still be held responsible for the fallout, even when none of this started with you. That's your accountability check. If you can't answer it honestly, don't sign up for the job. Don the Con Man out. If this hit a nerve, good. Drop your thoughts in the comments, argue your side, or share your story. If you know a man walking into this trap, send this his way. And if you're bold enough to agree, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unapologetic real talk.